All right, so Halloween is coming to a close. Today is Halloween itself. Um, and normally what I would do on this channel is I'd come on, give a review, give some feedback, movies I liked, things didn't, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to do that this year. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give some recommendations of movies that came out this year. I decided not to do classics per se. I didn't want to do the Beetlejuices and the Ghostbusters and the Monster Squads. We all have our rotation of favorites that we watch this time of year. What I'm doing is I want to shed a spotlight on some movies that may have gotten missed this year, movies that came out in 2022 that aren't necessarily classics, but definitely deserve your attention, especially this time of year. So without any further ado, let's just get into it. So I'm going to do five. The first one I want to talk about is Hocus Pocus 2. Now, Hocus Pocus 2 I really liked, mostly because it felt like if you were a fan of the franchise, this movie was made just for you. It wasn't to try and get a new audience or wasn't trying to reinvent the wheel. It was just, hey, thank you for being here. Thank you for liking this movie. Thank you for keeping it alive. Thank you for keeping it popular. Here's a movie for those fans. And where it leaves off is almost like Ghostbusters Afterlife, where you can make a sequel, you can make more. And I kind of hope they do because I really like the way this one went about because it was just fun. It just made you be like, almost like remember Hocus Pocus, but in a very different way, where it still had the dance, it still had a singing and dancing number. It still had that family friendly feel and fun, and just generally really good. It got the cast back. One critique I had before seeing it was I didn't like that it didn't bring Max or the other main characters back. Did bring back Billy and the Sanderson sisters, but it really didn't need them. I mean, you can bring them back in a future installments, but this was really just like a Ghostbusters Afterlife movie, like a passing of the torch type movie, and that's what I really liked. So I'm kind of hoping they do a third one. But if you haven't watched Hocus Pocus 2 yet, and you have the family together, big kids, little kids, everything in between, it's definitely a good recommendation because it's fun for everyone. Another movie in that same vein would be my second choice is Curse of Bridge Hollow. Curse of Bridge Hollow is on Netflix, newest movie from Marlon Wayans, and it's just the same thing, very fun. I kind of just like the idea of the movie because Marlon Wayans is like the straight man, the science teacher, the like everything has to have a reason and logic, and there can't be any spooky supernatural stuff. So of course there is, and it's messing with him. But it's just fun. The hijinks that go about is really good, and on top of all that, like just the general vibe of the movie is just family friendly fun. And honestly, just kind of like the banter between him and his daughter and everything else. Like the basic plot of that movie is they're like this turn up jack-o'-lantern and it brings back Skinny Pete, and he's trying to trade his soul for someone else's and effectively go into like switch places. So he wants to live forever, make Halloween forever. So it's a high stakes movie, but it's just a simple shut your brain off, enjoy fun movie. And it's good to see Marlon Wayans doing something fun like that, especially around the Halloween season, because like I always remember him finding him in a young age from scary movies. So anytime he does something spooky like this or haunted house, I kind of want to watch it just to see what he does because I'm trying to get that nostalgia pop again. It's nowhere near as vulgar. It's definitely as a scary movie. It's definitely a family friendly movie, but still fun. My third recommendation is going to be Studio 666 with the Foo Fighters. This is all of the Foo Fighters coming together and just making almost like an Evil Dead or Army of Darkness type film. What it effectively becomes is Dave Grohl wants to record a new album, but he doesn't like the sound. He doesn't like what he's doing. So instead of going to a cabin in the woods, they go to a abandoned murder site in the Hollywood Hills. It's the same plot just in Hollywood, which I thought was kind of interesting and funny because he was self-aware of it enough to do it. And then from there, what basically happens is he finds this audio, like an audio track, plays it, and summons a demon, becomes possessed, and then all the Foo Fighters are just kind of dealing with it. And it's really cool to see them all together, but you can really tell like they're having fun, where the point is that it's more about the movie than anything else, because like I'm gonna be honest with you, the acting not great, but it is a very fun time, all things considered. Definitely recommend. I think it's on Prime. Don't quote me, I got the Blu-ray, so I'm not exactly sure. My second to last pick is Hellraiser with Jamie Clayton. Jamie Clayton came in and just crushed this film. She got announced as Pinhead, and nothing against her. I was just very skeptical. Anytime they recast a character like that, you kind of have mixed emotions. Like Jason Voorhees, you can always do is always a guy in the mask. You all have your personal preference. Same with Mike Myers. Like James Drew Courtney came in, crushed it. Tyler Mane came in, crushed it. Same with Jason Voorhees. Kane Hodder's like my personal favorite, but Derek Mayer was fantastic in the reboot. So those were easier to do because, like I said, it's just a guy in a suit killing people. But with a character like this, I was a little afraid because I didn't want another Jackie Earl Haley situation where dude's trying his best, but he's no Robert Englund. But Jamie Clayton did a fantastic job. She made the role her own. And they do my favorite thing about this movie is they do the Jaws in the water approach with Hellraiser and Pinhead in general, specifically, is you don't see her till much later. Like I think past the hour mark is when she comes into the film, and from there she just has your attention. And it's not the same movie; it does its own thing, and that's my favorite type of remake. Like, believe it or not, actually, I'm a huge fan of the Teen Wolf show. Probably lost a subscriber or two over that one, but I like it because it didn't try to be the Michael J. Fox movie. It tried to be its own unique thing. And that's what I really want to see more of. I don't want to see people just try and copy and paste and what worked and what didn't. If you're going to do a reboot that is its own identity, but still in the same vibe or the same spirit of the original, like how Evil Dead did it. So to me, this was in that vein of, hey, we're going to go get the vibe down. And I believe Clive Barker was involved with this, and just do our own thing. And it came out fantastic. It's on Hulu, which is funny because that makes Pinhead technically a Disney movie now. So that's interesting, but thanks, Mickey, I guess. I don't know. And my last recommendation for this time of year is The Barbarian. So The Barbarian is a newer movie that just came out. It just went to HBO Max very recently, and I was very skeptical on this because I'm not a huge fan of movies that are driven purely on hype. And from the trailer, I didn't get anything from it, which I didn't really know what to expect from that because hype to me normally never lives up to it. So that's me personally, because you go in with a bar this high and sometimes it hits it, but mostly it doesn't, and you're left a little unsatisfied with it, which is Terrifier is an example that I haven't gotten around to watching Terrifier until this year, but it did hit the mark with me where it lived up to the hype. So I was afraid going into Barbarian that maybe it was just an overhyped movie because the trailers didn't give much to me. I don't want to tell you much of the plot. You see, the trailer is two people in an Airbnb, and you're kind of expecting one thing because it's double booked, and then you get introduced to this whole mystery of stuff, and the trailers gave you nothing, which I really love. So I don't want to spoil anything about the movie. I don't want to give anything about the movie, but Justin Long, the girl who is Tessa, I can't really remember her name, and I apologize for that, and Bill Skarsgård, Pennywise the Clown, are effectively the main three characters, and they all come in and just crush every scene they're in. And it is tense, it is on the edge of your seat scary, and it is very, very, very unsettling. This is a movie that does horror well because it doesn't rely on body counts or blood or gore. It has that. It has 5 deaths in the whole movie, but it's not the focal point. The focal point is the suspense and the build and what's going to happen. My only critique of it is so you see the town for the first time, and when you do, they don't really explain how the town got to the state it's in, and I don't want to say anything more than that. You can take that however you want. There's a million different ways to interpret that statement, but if you've seen the movie or gone through the movie, you'll see what I'm talking about. They don't ever really explain that, so this is a movie that almost could cater well towards a sequel. Like, there is a character that explains it through word of mouth, kinda, but not really, and I want to know more. I want to know more details. I almost want another movie to build this world up a little bit more. I would like to see more of this. Of all the movies I mentioned, though, Barbarian would be the one I recommend the most if you want to be scared. But if you just want to have a good family time, like a good experience, there's a million other things to recommend. That is not the movie. But if you want something to be a little unsettling and different, and you've seen everything else a million times, that would be my pick, personally. But beyond that, guys, tell me what you think. Tell me what I missed. Tell me what movies you're watching this holiday season. Tell me how my list is wrong. Tell me how my list is right. Tell your friends, tell your enemies, anything in between. But above all else, have fun, be good people, enjoy the holiday, and happy Halloween.